Okay, everybody. So the first stream out of Spain, the first Division S qualifier stream out of Spain. We're in qualifier number 3 now for Division S, and we are with the Grumpstrup Legacy, aka the the ProG Legacy team against Out of the Box here. And our first map is Cursed Hollow. So for everybody that might asking themselves that question, no, I'm not in my new apartment yet. I have found an apartment actually, and I just come from the apartment. I'm gonna move in on Monday. Internet is on the way as well, but for now I'm still in the Airbnb, and I'm connected over a Wi-Fi connection. Yeah, that's unfortunately the only solution that we found here, and let me just say it like this. I hope it holds. So if you watch this on YouTube, then news should be good, because that would mean that actually everything worked fine. If you don't, then you're not worrying about this anyway, so why am I even talking about this? Either way, I'm in Spain, I'm in Valencia, and we have Cursed Hollow, and we actually have on the map Abatha banned out right away, and in addition to it also a ban on De Haka. Now, I gotta admit right from the get-go that the last patch that hit is a patch that I have not been able to study a lot. As you can imagine, I've been running around a lot looking at apartments and trying to translate Spanish into English, trying also to improve my own Spanish a little bit. So currently making a lot of contacts here, talking to people, and it's not always easy because, as I found out, English is a rare commodity in Spain. So the last patch, I gotta admit upfront, I haven't really looked at it in depth. Abatha was changed quite a bit though, but in this case it doesn't even matter. Was banned out here. Maiev also banned. Still a consistent ban for months, to be honest with you. And since it is Cursed Hollow, there's also the ban on De Haka, so global shenanigans are not going to be able for out of the box here either. And we have with that now a new Burak as an engaged hero and as one of the heroes that just absolutely shines on the front line right now, if you want to play aggressive, banned out too. So the one thing that I really want to point out here is that we already have, of course, 2 teams that qualified for Division S. So now today we're going to determine the 3rd team, and depending on the positions, on the placings of other teams that participate in today's qualifiers, there is also the chance that a few other teams, just simply through the points that they accumulated in the past, will qualify for Division S as well. There's going to be 4 qualifiers in total, so we have another one coming up next week. Falstad as a first pick here, so as you can tell, globals in high demand here. And Garrosh makes his way into a first position as well, together with Tyrande, so still playing the game where you're going to try and get those stun combos off. A quick flip into Tyrande stun with a Hunter's Mark popping off, as of course always pretty sexy. So with that said, I still want to see what exactly is being played on the other side here. We have Menaldor and Blade. Now, I mean, the team in general, if you look at the names that are being displayed here, is pretty strong. And I also want to point out that, of course, now the changes to Hero League and to heroes in general, that you can see the names of the opponents. Like, thank God. How long have we prayed to the Blizz gods to finally put that change back in so that one tricks can get punished in draft, and finally it's back in there. Yep, HGC is dead by now, but hey, you need to take what you get, right? So, well, for now we have Karazim, we have Leoric also taken. Karazim is interesting that he's such a high priority, but I think the idea is really to just play around the 7-sided strike a lot. If you hit a good Entomb, for example, and you gust the opponent away with Falstad, then the 7-sided strike of Karazim is going to hit only the targets that you Entomb. So you can really attempt... I mean, Falstad serves multiple purposes here. First of all, it's Cursed Hollow, so you have the global aspect. It's a big map, you can really play around that. Second of all, boss control is highly important, and if you have Falstad, a good Mighty Gust might win you the boss, and maybe even the game out of that. But you have even more combos with it, because now you can all of a sudden just try and get a Gust isolation, and then the 7-sided strike through Karazim gets all the power through. Still a bit surprising to me that he gets this high of a priority at this point, but there is a thought process behind it, so you can see what they're going to try and do here. So with that said, we're having on the other side now, with the bans coming in against the front line, Diablo banned out, we have also Junkrat taken away. Still, we need some burst damage for the Grumpstrup Legacy. So for Alex, the ProG's fans, we need... Well, we have Genji and we have Hanzo, so we have the brothers right there. I expected a bit more of a burst damage setup here, with a bit of a bang. That being said, Hanzo obviously delivers to an extent, but I was looking towards maybe a Jaina. She has seen a couple of recent nerfs. It was like 2 patches ago, but nothing too crazy, and still enough to really get the numbers in there. So yeah, with that said, we are heading into this, and we have now, ooh, Samuro and Hammer. They don't really care about that Diablo ban because they don't play with a frontliner anyways. We have Hammer and Samuro that can on two opposite sides of the map just get huge pressure onto structures. You have Force that can very mobile, move between the lanes, can also help out to save someone. So they're going full cancer comp here. And it's going to be tricky. I mean, Kharazim can escape, so can force that. Leoric can go away. Who do you focus on? There's a lot of running gonna be the case here. And with that, we have Phoenix picked as the last pick here. So not even another melee, not having any of these offlaners taken. Nope, instead we're actually going to see Phoenix. So 3 ranged heroes, if you so want. Cursed Horrors map number 1. This is a best of 3 series. We are in the 3rd qualifier for Division S. So let's head straight into game number 1. Game number 1, everybody! Cursed Hollow is the map, and we are looking at the Grumpstrup Legacy, aka the Alex the ProG Legacy on the left in blue with Wardy on Genji, Mokilp on Tyrande, Gentle Swallowed on Garrosh, we have Shiroth Kona on Hanzo, Wanna Drink on Phoenix, and on the right side of the map, it's out of the box in red with Blade on Falstad, Minaldor on Leoric, Kiev on Samuro, Vodka-chan on Kharazim, and TRQR on Sergeant Hammer. It is an interesting composition, to say the least, what we're having for the red team, and the big question is, of course, going to be, how do you deal with that? Because it's not going to be easy. If the red team plays their cards right and just play around the opponent, that is going to be a huge asset for them. So we'll see how exactly that works out for them here. With that being said, there is of course a lot of fire potential when we're looking towards the blue team. I mean, they're running 3 ranged heroes here, and that can definitely be the deciding factor. If you run over your opponent in the early game, you gain some momentum, you're able to get a lead, that might just be enough. But I'm also interested to see how exactly the red team is going to play this. This is going to be the big question. We're already having a bit of a setup here, where especially Kirva on his Samuro is going to be interesting. And I mean, Kirva has played that hero quite a bit before, so he definitely knows what he's doing. In the early game, Samuro might not be able to have too much of an impact, but as the game continues and he gets access not only to his level 10, but also to damage spikes later on, I expect a lot of action from that. Phoenix actually goes down at the top lane here. Minaldor and Blade already able to get a quick kill in, so that worked for them. Down to the bottom of the map in the meantime, we're still having Hammer holding the lane against only 2. Playing this really safe. I mean, as you can see here, it's just like super safe play right now, not exposing yourself to anything. And Samuro is doing one of the things he does best, goes straight for those camps and makes sure that they have a bit of mercenary pressure on the lane for now. So with that, we're having topside at the same time. Still Falstad holding the line here. Wardy, of course, is a huge threat, and so is Phoenix. Blade needs to be very careful. Went, by the way, into Seasoned Marksman as a level 1 talent. With that being said, normal mirror image build for Samuro. Nothing too crazy here. And to be honest, with the level 1 talents, we don't see any huge surprises here either. We have Orson's Renewal on Leoric over Consume Vitality, which you could take. Level 4 is still Kneel Peasants. I mean, we have seen a couple of variations with Leoric in particular just recently. Ghastly Reach all of a sudden has made its way into the meta builds, especially on certain maps like, let's say, Infernal Shrines, for example. So there's definitely a couple of adjustments. There's another adjustment, and that it might be a kill, but not quite. Wanna Drink still at the warp available, was able to move out, and was absolutely safe in that situation. Down to the bottom of the map, on the other hand, Gentle Swallowed on his Garrosh has already taken a bit of a beating. Nothing too crazy just yet, but now with those siege shines, Hammer is all of a sudden in a position where she can start pushing this in. Good dodges on the Tyrande stun, and that's all that's needed to drop the gate and also the first turret. And as you can see at the top lane, it's a 3 versus 1 setup against the ProG Legacy, and that is not going to work well for them. Especially with Samuro now saying hi too. So the entire control of the map is pretty much in the hands of the red team, and I'm a little bit questioning the decision of the blue team to really rotate topside, or mid lane at least, with so many heroes away from Sergeant Hammer. Hammer isn't really a hero you want to leave alone on lane. That's normally not what happens there. So now, yeah, make sure that Garrosh isn't getting too close. Top lane is still pressured, and that's an easy first tribute, as you could already see, for out of the box. And, well, they are currently looking at a really solid setup with this. They have level 7 already, half a level ahead, get the extra talent, and they're rotating Samuro from one lane to another, just keeping the pressure up. And as I said before, this composition is not necessarily designed to go into a big 5 versus 5 team fight. That's not the plan that you have here. Your plan is literally just to push your opponent into oblivion, take those forts down, get the catapults onto the lanes, and then use the map control to take them on. And as long as you don't lose any heroes in the process, you're gonna be golden. It's all about how do you react to all of this. 7 versus 7 now, but just the experience alone already tells you pretty much the tale. And, well, with that, we're now having in the mid lane even more pressure. Yeah? Wardy has to move out. As you can imagine, he doesn't really have the best wave clear. Want a drink? Oh! Blade couldn't go in deeper because he was so low in HP himself. But Phoenix has to really play around the shield mechanic now if he wants to hold that lane a bit longer, as another tribute spawns bot side. And with that, we're now, of course, seeing even more action happening right here. Second tribute already taken. And, well, talent adjustments, a few as well. I mean, there's not really a lot of stuns that we're seeing on the side of out of the box. So instead of going for the Celestial Attunement, we're now seeing Khaldor resistance. Hanzo goes down at the bot lane. Ooh, Kiva on his Samuro already doing work, and I can only tell you that much. That is not a good sign if you are on the side of the ProG Legacy. Because, yeah, you're 2 kills behind, you're a level behind, more than a level actually, and you're going up against an opponent that doesn't do anything else but try and push your lanes out and plays around the wave clear, around the escape mechanisms that they have on every single hero. Phoenix now at the top lane gets dropped by Blade too. And this is not looking good at all. Full auto attack build, by the way, for Blade. Not going into the boomerang on level 7, but instead heading straight into the secret weapon here. So trying to get even more damage throughout the basic attacks, and so far it's working. I mean, increased range, of course, helps a bit with a poke too, depending on how you want to play this. But now we have level 10 abilities. And we are already seeing out-of-the-box knock on every single fort here. And that's not good news at all. Out of the box in a dominant position so far. And there's the curse now as well to add insult to injury with the third tribute channeled. Blade at the top lane even uses the gust. Not really a massive cooldown that he burned. 60 seconds. But yeah, look at this. Kiva with a curse already taken. It's just saying, boys, I'm gonna go keep. So he goes straight for the keep here. Trying to push this through right away. Mid lane, in the meantime, Khaldor is already taking care of the fort. And at the top lane, we're seeing pretty much the same thing. And guess what? Nobody gives a shit about the bot lane here. That keep is very likely gonna fall if that continues. Moklub is the only one, stuns the wrong one. In the meantime, Hanzo falls again. He's not the only one. Phoenix dies too, but we're gonna keep our eye on the keep here. As Samuro moved out, top lane, even more pressure. 2 forts are down. Another one, the wall, is attacked in the mid lane here. And I mean, I don't know what to say, but 5 kills against 0. 2 levels ahead, and they are, with the first curse, easily able to take down 3 forts, and they nearly drop a bottom and a mid lane keep as well. This is out of the box, just absolutely running this build and understanding how to play it. It's really a composition where you do not want to go into 5 versus 5 team fights. You want to play around it, you want to use your wave clear to just threaten your opponent over and over again. And they do that extremely well. They move out of harm's way whenever there's a gank coming their way. They themselves set ganks up. Meme Strike is being used here now too. Doesn't really do too much, and there's the immediate 7-sider. Doesn't get the kill, but here's the Entomb, and that might be the follow-up that they need. Trying to move in for it, and that's the end of Garrosh. Kill number 6 in their hands. They get the 7th against Hanzo. That's the double kill right there. And with 7 kills against 0 and a 3-level lead, level 13 talents in their hands, that's going to be keep number 2. They go for the keep at the bot lane. The one in the middle has already been destroyed. And the ProG Legacy is a legacy of losing games, apparently, because this one is not gonna turn. That's just not happening. They're way too strong. Go straight in for the core. A little bit of damage done now that level 10 abilities are in the hands of the blue team, but the core is already down to 46%. Blade has to move away, and they actually can't finish just yet. Can't finish yet, but yeah, Blade might fall. Doesn't have mana to move away either, and he goes down. Falls dead. The bird is dead. The bird's the word, and he's the only one dying here. But with that being said, 1 kill against 7, and the main problem still persists. You have lost 2 keeps, you have lost 50% on your core, you have a Samuro in, well, nearly a late game situation on the other side. And they're looking for their salvation in taking out a boss. I think this is the only play that you can really make. You're trying to take a boss and then you try and carry that momentum maybe through the bottom lane towards your opponent's core. The problem is we're looking at 9 minutes in the game and, well, how do I put this? A 9-minute boss isn't really the biggest deal. And at the same time, you have an opponent that gets their own boss topside and there's no fort there anymore. So the boss at the bottom of the map is not going to do a whole lot because there's still a fort and there's still an entire wall. The boss at the top lane, on the other hand, is going to go straight for a keep. And with a bit of assistance and the level 13 talent that they hold, you can pretty easily make sure that you're going to get your money's worth here, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, they're going to try and make their move there. Samuro is already on the way. Kira is saying, like, boys, I got this. I'm going to prep the lane here for you. But the response is, of course, ready. I mean, right now, if you're on the blue side, you know that there's trouble coming. There's trouble brewing right there, so they're starting to move in already. But things are not looking pretty at all. Full meme into the wrong direction, my friend. Oh, Garrosh just gets deleted from the map within a second. And yeah, that should be a keep and probably the end of the game. But Hanzo, I mean, to be fair, it doesn't really matter if Hanzo hits the right direction with his meme strike or the wrong direction. The effect is going to be the same. So, with that said, that was one for the gallery here. Hope you took a picture. Genji goes down. Bird is still dead. But, well, we're having with Hanzo falling now only 3 heroes on the map for the Legacy. And now this is the move straight for the core right here, and that is going to be the lead in game number 1 as we have out of the box taking the lead in the series. Torana goes down 2. They're getting at least the kill against Leoric, but that's all she wrote. And as the fat lady sings, the game ends and we have the lead for out of the box in the best of 3. Game number 2, the ProG Legacy. Like, I don't know, I go for the G, and then all of a sudden, instead of Legacy, I am going for Legacy. I don't know, it's a German in me, sue me. Out of the box is in the lead against the ProG Legacy. There we go. And yeah, it's getting a little bit dark here in Spain right now. I think for the next zeros I'll probably have to try and find a few more lights that I can turn on. In this place. So yeah, we're heading into our second game, and out of the box was just crushing it last game. So they've already been memeing around a little bit in the lobby of what we're gonna see in this game. Battlefield of Eternity is of course a very different beast than Cursed Hollow. You have only 2 lanes, the objective centers very heavily around teamfights in the middle of the lane, so you can't really just play around your opponent like this. And I mean, if you name yourself out of the box already, I assume that you have a couple of strategies that you can throw at your opponent that they might not quite expect here, that are a little bit more on the meme side. So I would say that is a good chance. We have again the ban on Nuburak, we have a ban on also Maiev, so a lot of engaged heroes have already been eliminated. Diablo banned out here too. We have still the first pick on the side of out of the box this time, and there's the Samuro ban, okay. If you see a team that actually wants to play Samuro, you're always in a situation where you're starting to be afraid that Samuro is going to be played against you. And they're just like, nah, I don't know, like let's ban that guy out there. So, what's the first pick? What are we going to get for game number 2 from out of the box? How out of the box are we? Are we still going to get our early Hanzo Toranda here? Or are they going to go complete full meme lord with that? Abathur! We get Abathur! Alright, sweet. So again, the new Abathur. Abathur has been changed a little bit, and as I said in the game before, I haven't been able to look at those changes properly. So we're gonna take a look at the builds now. So my apologies for that, again, with a little caveat here. I've been very busy moving to Valencia, and I'm still not completely set up. I'm still at an Airbnb, and I'm moving in my real apartment within the next 2 days. So we're gonna look at the impact of Abathur on the map here together. As far as I know, Monstrosity has actually been buffed a little bit, so maybe we see Monty back in action. I wouldn't mind at all to see Monty back. When Monty was strong was always nice. We have, by the way, a Zarya in the early pick rotation here, which is also a bit different from what you would usually see here. So, Zarya and Hanzo. Okay, give me some mayhem, buddy. I'm game. I'm game. There's our Karazim again for Vodka-chan. Already a meme build. I mean, if you have Karazim together with Abathur, that was always pretty solid. That was always pretty good. I mean, the cool thing is just simply that Karazim is really mobile, right? In the way that he can dash in, dash out, especially after he has his extra dashes. And if you have Abathur then with a symbiote on top of you, then you can just do so much more damage. You can really perform there. So that is definitely a pretty sweet setup for them right now. To see that combo again, first of all. After the ban against Simuro, we're now having a ban against Sergeant Hammer too. I mean, Hammer, of course, on this map could always be played with a lot of impact, a lot of value. But after seeing Hammer already in the last game, again, you probably just looking at this if you're the ProG Legacy and you're like, nah, I'm not quite sure there. Alright, so. Okay. Garrosh banned at this point. A lot of bans on the front line, really. I mean, out of the box was the team that played with an interesting choice earlier. Leoric solo tank, pretty much. I mean, you still have a double pick available for out of the box, so there's all the potential in the world to get Shogal here. Can't pick Shogal if he's already taken away. Shogal picked for the ProG Legacy. I honestly want to know if out of the box was looking to play Shogal here. I honestly want to know. I would totally believe it. I would absolutely believe it here. But yeah, I'm pretty sure they wanted to pick it. Because in the chat, in the lobby, people were memeing around Shogal a little bit, and now we have Sylvanas and oh my god, Chen and Karazim with an Abathur. That is brutal. That is absolutely brutal. So now we have a Shogal, Zarya, and Hanzo, and Ana. Alright, guys. Shogal against Chen. Who's gonna take it here? Yeah, we get the Chen play again. I'm happy with this. Okay, we're going into in the Mimi route. Keep in mind, this is the first round of the tournament. As expected, first rounds in the tournament, usually a little bit more so on the Mimi side. So, yeah, let's head into Battlefield of Eternity. Out of the box, going up against the ProG Legacy. Game number 2, everybody! The ProG Legacy with the Cho'Gall composition against Out of the Box. And on the left side, for our blue team, we have Wardy on Cho, we have Mokelp on Ana, Gentle Swallowed on Zarya, Shiroth on Gull, and Wanna Drink on Hanzo. That's actually a fantastic Chen name, by the way, I'm just saying. On the right side of the map, Menel'Dor with Chen, we have Blade on Junkrat, Kiva on Sylvanas, Vodka-chan on Karazim, and Tier QR on Abathur. And yeah, the new Abathur in the house here. We're going to have a look at those talents again. I'll check that out with you together. But the combo with a Chen and an Abathur is always a terrifying one. And on level 1, we're seeing for now the pressurized clans. I mean, this is one of those things, again, with the cooldown reduction, later on you get a lot of value out of your spike burst, and if you have heroes that can stay close to an opponent, like Chen, for example, through the flying kick, or simply Karazim, then you can do a lot of stuff there. But we have a Cho'Gall at the bottom of the map, and so far, Warkona! That's actually a really cool Cho'Gall name. That's a really nice Cho'Gall name. Is already in position here. Gentle Swat has to move out of this. But we have a pretty heavy push at the bot lane, but up to the top side. We're still seeing pretty much the same thing. It's basically a race. Who gets the fort first? Who goes in and takes that on? And again, I want to put that little caveat out there that we're currently looking at the first round of the qualifier. So that has to be something that you guys keep in mind. Wanna Drink, by the way, is really low, and if he gets jumped at any point with an Abathur especially, then yep, he is down. And that's an easy fort topside. And as you can see at the bottom of the map with Blade defending with his Junkrat, that pushdown here isn't quite as powerful. So the fort top lane has already been destroyed, and now the question is simply how do you react? Do you switch lanes, or do you simply go for a keep and say, well, if you don't come and react to this, we're gonna take your keep down. And as it turns out, that is exactly what Out of the Box does. If you not only run a Kharazim, an Abathur, and a Chen, but you also have a Sylvanas with this, you have a lot of push power. And while at the bottom of the map, the Cho'Gall composition is actually about to lose Cho'Gall. Ooh! Oh, not like this. Alright, they don't get the fort, they lose Cho'Gall, and yeah, the top lane they're starting to lose their wall. I mean, you could say that it was a strategic suicide because they wanted to go back to base really quickly. And they thought that if they use the Hearthstone, it might take longer. So I'll go with that. This over they just screwed up. So that's a much better explanation. It's actually an IQ 200 play that we're seeing here. So if you have so many 200 IQ players on your team, then this is just one of the advantages that you get through that. So again, if we have a couple of lag spikes every now and then, I said it before, but please bear with me because I am still at the Airbnb here in Spain, moving to my own apartment at the beginning of next week. But unfortunately, I can only rely on a wireless connection here, so there are good chances that every now and then we have a couple of small connection issues. So it's unfortunately something we have to deal with today. Starting next week, that's not going to be an issue any longer for the streams here, and then I'm also going to have more of a proper setup for you guys, but for today we'll still have to deal with that, and well, for tomorrow of course too, for the duration of the qualifier. So with Blade currently pausing the game, let's look a little bit at what happened so far. So outside of Cho'Gall getting killed in the bot lane, we also have the fort that got eliminated, and if you look at experience, and we're having by now level 4 in the hands with the extra talent of the red team, and at the same time we're also looking at nearly an entire level lead. So things aren't really looking too good for the ProG Legacy, especially if you're considering that right now we are pretty much so looking at the first Immortal, and normally you can start snowballing that in experience a bit. If you win the Immortal now and you have on the other hand Sylvanas, then you can imagine how that's usually going to go. So definitely not the best setup here. Adrenal Overlord, by the way, it's a talent that you've oftentimes in the past probably seen with Kharazim. Really, really good to get those extra hits in and get the extra value. Immortal is announced, and that's of course now the time where you usually are trying to take your Shaman camp. And so far we have Sylvanas making her way over to the camp here with Kharazim. Yeah, they're gonna go for it. Okay, Kiva already at it. They're gonna jump in for that. Gonna make sure that they're going to get enough here, and in the meantime we have Chen just holding the top lane together with Abathur. Wanna Drink has to actually move away again, and that opens up that keep for even more pressure and a bit of extra damage. And of course, the more you pressure the top lane, the more you're just simply telling your opponent, listen, if you go for the objective right now, we're just gonna fuck you up. So yeah, bot lane fort is finally about to fall, but here comes the rotation, here comes the attack. And they're letting it go, at least for the time being. Still a massive lead in experience. And I mean, we have... Hanzo barely gets out here. Hanzo barely gets out. Menaldor is still holding the lane here. Is jumping away. The rotation is coming his way, but the objective, of course, is about to drop into the hands of Out of the Box. At least a halftime show. And Menaldor, can he even escape? Abathur is helping out. He should actually die here. And he does. So Chen goes down, but the halftime show has already been reached, and if you're looking at the keep again, it's pretty much down to half HP. So now we're seeing even more pressure on the Immortal itself, and as I said before, you have Sylvanas pushing with you. So that makes things even worse. So with level 7 coming in, there's the extra dashes that we mentioned, the blinding speed here. We have 4 Sylvanas now also, the festering wound, and we can actually anticipate a lot of damage coming through here. Because this is still a 50-60% shield Immortal that we're seeing right now. And again, it's 4.5 minutes into the game, so it's not really like that beast has scaled significantly. But there's so many pressure points right now. Abathur is already with his Symbiote head pressuring out the top lane. Trying, of course, to help out a little bit at the bot lane too, but Abathur is now starting to take even the offensive stance at the top lane to get even more experience for his team. And with Sylvanas in the mix, yep, they're trying to go for it simply. There's already Cho'Gall in a bit of trouble. Ooh, gets pushed in too. Blade needs to be careful, but they're getting the damage in. And Sylvanas is going straight for the fort, and the fort is down. And with a 4 down, the Immortal is still alive and might have lost the shields, but still has a couple of points here. Down goes Zarya. She's dead. And I mean, this is not good news. We're having level 8, nearly level 9 now, 4 out of the box, and they're pushing through here. War, Kona, Cho'Gall, I mean, it's a late game hero, but right now they're already losing this in the early game. Still, Abathur pushing out the top lane, might even get some damage onto the keep itself, and it very much looks like that's going to happen, as a massive wave pushing in right now with the catapult to boot. And as you can see right here, that keep is maybe even gonna fall. I mean, finally there's a rotation. It's a late rotation, and Abathur is trying to get a bit more damage in through the symbiote here, but the catapult alone is already doing work. And the keep might not fall, but it's definitely up for grabs whenever they want to. Another quick spike burst and a needle spine right there. But now down to the bottom of the map, camps are taken. And well, take a quick look at the experience. It's level 10. And with level 10, we're now seeing, of course, heroic abilities in play. And yes, you can force any fight you want at this point. You want to force a fight? You can. And there's the keg. Top keg value right there. Not. But at least use the cooler. Yeah, and we have Monty. Monty, the monstrosity, is up at the top lane right now. Monty in play. And with that, we're now seeing the top fort, the top keep definitely fall. And at the bottom of the map, Zarya is actually in a bit of trouble, as we're still seeing the full force of out of the box starting to move in. Yeah, 7-sided strike against Wakona. There's the silence and the rocket ride. Down goes Cho'Gall. Zarya is dead too. And with that, they should have an easy time now going for keep number 2. 6 minutes and 50 seconds into the game. Gen G, MVP Black would be proud of that performance. 2-level lead, make that 2.5, and they're taking the keep here already. Immortals are spawning in 5 seconds. I'm not even sure they're going for the Immortal. Monty is already doing some work down here. The monstrosity, with the help of Abathur, getting controlled as we speak, and they go for the core. Not quite sure if they can actually pull that off just yet, but then again, there's no heroic abilities. Get a bit of damage in, and then decide that it might not be the smartest choice. Well, there's a bit of top kick value right there, but just not enough to get another kill for them on the board. And yes, the core suffers actually a bit of damage, especially through the catapult topside, down to 88%. But with level 10 abilities about to hit for the ProG Legacy, there is just very little they can do about this right now. Time to get you guys a bit of an idea what the numbers look like. 20,000 damage from Sylvanas alone. She's been doing well here. We're having also 14k from Junkrat himself, and of course that earlier kill. Hanzo still leading the numbers, still having the top damage numbers here, but that doesn't really help you if you're not able to translate that into kills themselves. And well, there's the camp taken. 2 lanes are being pressured by catapults now, so time is working in out of the box's favor. If you can keep the legacy in the middle, then catapults are eventually going to attack the core, and the Winions are going to decide the game in your favor. But, well, there comes Zarya with the ult, trying to make the play. Not quite working out for them. The rocket ride is on point, but not enough damage to seriously threaten Ana here. Sylvanas pushing out a lane at the top, or a wave, is now starting to move back into the fight. And as I said, camps and catapults pushing topside now. There comes the keg, and this time onto Cho'Gall, and that might work out a bit better than the previous ones. Wakona is low, there's an arrow that doesn't hit, and that's the end of Cho'Gall. Cho'Gall is dead, and so is Zarya. She's down again, and the core is already under attack. Monty is right there, in the middle of things. He's getting maneuvered out with a double catapult already homing in straight onto those shields. This is not looking pretty at all. Ana falls too, so that is a 5-man team wipe right now against the ProG Legacy, and as they're going for the Immortal, Abathur is already prepping the core. Down to 83%, 81. There comes Blade, trying to get a few more hits in. Gets actually pushed out there, but can easily move back down. And well, with 80% on the core, you know, with a 3-level disadvantage, having to deal with a massive Immortal at the top lane with huge shields too. And this is going to get very, very tricky. I mean, if this doesn't end the game, I don't know what will. Let's just put it like that. Even with Cho'Gall back on the board, I mean, what can you actually do here? You're 3 levels behind. Your opponent is pushing this heavily. and you're just looking at trouble right now. So yep, there comes Kieva, already going in, the Maceton from Khaldor, and Vodka-chan with the help of Abathar is already on the core. Zarya ult doesn't really hit anything. Kieva dodges out, Arrow doesn't hit either, and Wakona is about to fall, but Sylvanas dies first. Cho'Gall gets healed by Ana, but the core is falling, and this, ladies and gentlemen, is game, as we have a 2-0 victory for Out of the Box against the ProG Legacy at the Division S Qualifier number 3.